Hey all, Kit here. Fine. Hey there, it's Kit, and today I have a special episode topic. And that topic is one of my favorite professional wrestlers in fighting games, Armor King. You see, Armor King's getting a recent DLC, so I kinda figured, how about I, the greatest mech pilot of all time, give you a rundown of everything about him before his DLC comes out. Well, if this video comes out on time, that is. Either way, let's just get straight into his lore and story just to get you caught up. We start off Armor King's story with, well, the first Tekken game, and the events that preceded it. You see, Armor King was a professional wrestler who only wanted one thing, a worthy opponent. But despite going around beating up different gyms and different dojos, he wasn't finding it. He even had an encounter with Paul Phoenix, but still hadn't found a worthy opponent. Until a certain wrestler known as King showed up on the scene. And being faced with the dilemma that there's a guy who looks just like him with a similar name, Armor King was intrigued and challenged King to a battle. This battle did not go in Armor King's favor in the slightest. It was an embarrassment. He lost an eye from this fight. And of course, taking a loss like this only makes a guy like him very bitter. Especially if a guy who looks just like you with a slightly different gimmick. It's awful. But of course, King himself got more famous and even became the champion. Now, why was King doing all this, one might ask? Well, it's very simple. You see, King was doing wrestling mainly to support an orphanage, on his Nacho Libre stuff. But of course, the money from wrestling can only take him so far with supporting the orphanage, but that's when the King of the Iron Fist tournament was announced. King, seeing this as an opportunity to get more money for the orphanage, decides to enter. And so did Armor King, because he wants revenge and he's kind of a dick right now. Both of them get pretty far in the tournament before facing each other, where, well, once again, King absolutely destroys Armor King, but this time it's slightly different. And so after that, the two became good friends. They support each other, they love each other, and love each other. Huh. Like, the Golden Lover! Okay, so maybe not like the Golden Lovers, because I haven't seen those two kiss before. But that's off topic. So after the tournament, they both became friends, with King placing in third place. And I should probably establish this now, but King and Armor King's stories are very intertwined. So I will be fluctuating between the two for details on both of their stories. With that being said, since Armor King doesn't have an ending for Tekken 1, we'll just look at King's ending, and see how the story goes from there. I mean, how bad could it be after all? I don't even know what to make of that. I don't even know how to feel about that. What was that? You know what? Let's just get back into the story. So our story continues in Tekken 2, where, well, King had an orphan die on his watch. So now he's a depressed alcoholic who doesn't want to wrestle. But that's okay, because his buddy Armor King is here to help. You see, Armor King can't stand the fact that King's an alcoholic who quit wrestling because a kid died, so he decides to get his buddy back into the game and back in shape. After helping him do all that, he then enters his friend in the King of the Iron Fist tournament too, and also enters himself. Both of them having big hopes that maybe one of them will win. This does not happen in the slightest. I mean, did you see the tournament? The Devils showed up! Of course they weren't winning! But despite not winning, they both have endings. I mean, how about we look at them? They can possibly be as weird and confusing and kinda horrifying as the last one, and maybe with any luck, there won't even be any green screen kids. I mean, they wouldn't pull that again twice, right? Right? I don't even know what was that, man? A Christmas ending? You know what? Just show me Armor Kings. It can at least maybe give us more story going into the next game. Okay, I mean, I guess that was less weird than this last one, but like, I have nothing to work with here. What are we gonna do in the next game? You know what? It's fine. At least nothing worse than an orphan dying can happen to these two, right? What do you mean King died? Yep, that's right. King dies. I guess sometime before the time of Tekken 3, a god of combat awakens and decides to freaking kill him. He just straight up murders him in cold blood, right in front of one of the orphans too. Now we skip ahead like 14 or something years, and now one of the orphans has taken up the mantle of King to try to save the orphanage. Because I mean, without King, the orphanage lost like most of its funding. The only problem with this was, that orphan who took up the role of King, which we'll now be referring to as King 2 or King the Second, he sucks. He's awful. He's one of the worst wrestlers I've ever seen at the time. Which then brings us back to Armor King. Armor King would not let this other king disgrace the legacy of the king that came before him. So he decides to train King and make him the best king possible. I said king a lot in this explanation. Please help. After all that training, he then signs up King for the King of the Iron Fist Tournament 3, where King does his best and probably placed pretty high. I mean, with the anime they put on Netflix, he was basically the runner-up anyways. Sadly, his arcade mode ending doesn't really give us too much to work with, but it at least helps us transition pretty easily into the next game. You see, after the tournament, Armor King gets murdered as well, right after the tournament, by an MMA fighter known as Craig Marduk. I hate Craig. Craig, if you're out there, I want you to know I will break every bone in your body, you son of a b****. Anyways, this then leads into Tekken 4. You see, Craig got the one thing that everyone does when you murder somebody. He got sent to jail, but King couldn't accept that. So King uses his power and influence, just like wrestlers with their backstage politicking. He's like, that won't work for me, brother. Get him out of jail, is what he did. And then he invited Craig Marduk to the King of the Iron Fist Tournament 4, where he then proceeded to beat this man nearly to death. Feeling like the ass kicking he gave him after the end of the tournament wasn't enough, he then breaks into his hospital room and decides, well, it's over for you, Craig Marduk. I'm going to kill you now. But then decides against it after seeing he also has a wife and kids. Not wanting to continue the cycle of violence, King decides to leave him and give up his revenge for now. Well, that is until Craig Marduk beats up a bunch of dudes in an Armor King mask and then challenges them to the next tournament, where King decides, alright, I'm gonna run it back. I'm gonna kill you for real this time. But before running into Marduk, he runs into Julia Chang, who then is like, King, please, don't kill this man. It's not worth it. King then proceeds to beat the brakes off of her, finally arriving at Craig Marduk once again. And to say the least, it goes about as well for Marduk as it did last time. But the difference is, they decide to have a bit of respect for each other and become friends, even wrestling tag team partners. And of course, due to plot reasons, King didn't win the tournament once again, but after Craig lost to King in the tournament, going back to the lobby, he was attacked by a man who looks like Armor King. Yep, that's right. Armor King missed out on the next couple of games because he was dead, and now he's just back, I guess. Now this is where the story really picks up. King, now noticing that, well, Armor King's somehow back to life, decides to help Craig Marduk track this down and figure out the situation, which then leads to the most interesting string of events from Tekken 6. I just have to show the endings to explain the whole line of events.
So then, who are you? Don't lie to me. I killed him with my own hands. What the?
Now with all that happening, you'd expect, man, Tekken 7's really going to continue this storyline and hopefully not follow the main character's storyline and completely forget everyone else. Well, you'd be wrong if you were thinking that. Very wrong. Yep, that's right. In Tekken 7, we got no story development on this ongoing storyline. The most we got is that Marduk and Armor King fought and they're now in the hospital, which explains why they're DLC characters later on. And DLC characters didn't get story modes in Tekken 7. I'm just hoping that this storyline eventually gets continued with Tekken 8, and with the DLC dropping, probably the time this video's out, if it's not already out by then. I don't know, maybe Harada will tell me not to ask him for shit again. Either way, hopefully that's got anyone who's interested in Armor King as a character at least a little caught up on his lore in preparations for the new DLC. And if you enjoyed it, well, do those things that the YouTubers tell you to do on my channel. And who knows, if there's enough interest in this, I'll cover more fighting game stuff, because fighting games are my favorite genre. But until then, I'll see you guys next time.